Welcome to Explained. Today we're diving into something I bet you use every single day.
Every single day.
The internet.
Absolutely.
And you think you know how it works, right?
Yeah, probably.
But get ready for some surprises because we've got a whole stack of sources here about the history,
Okay.
the structure,
Right.
and even the future of the internet.
Looking forward to that.
We're going to decode the magic behind all those cat videos and online shopping sprees.
It really is amazing how integral it is to our lives now.
Isn't it, though?
We hardly even think about it.
Yeah, you just expect it to be there.
Totally.
But it's a pretty complex system, actually, with a really interesting history.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you know that its roots actually go back to the Cold War?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Those early researchers weren't thinking about, you know,
Social media.
social media or streaming services or anything like that.
Right?
They were trying to build a communication network that could survive a nuclear attack.
Wow.
That's how the idea of a decentralized network like the internet we know today was born.
Okay, so instead of having one central hub that could be targeted, the information is distributed across multiple pathways.
Exactly. No single point of failure. Which means even if one part of the network goes down,
Right.
the rest can keep running.
So that makes it very resilient.
Exactly. One of the things that makes the internet so powerful.
That's incredibly clever.
Yeah.
I wonder what those early researchers would think if they could see it today.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
Well, speaking of today, we all know there are a ton of devices connected to the internet these days,
Oh yeah.
but the actual numbers are kind of mind-blowing.
You're telling me back in 2018, Cisco estimated that there were more internet-connected devices
Okay.
than people on the planet.
Wow.
And that number has only skyrocketed since then.
More devices than people. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the most unexpected thing you've connected to the internet?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm really curious. Let us know.
Yeah, we want to know.
And it's not just your laptop and smartphone anymore.
Right. I mean, we're talking smart refrigerators,
Okay.
web-enabled toasters,
Yeah.
even sensorized mattresses, believe it or not.
Sensorized mattresses.
Yeah.
What will they think of next?
I don't know.
It's pretty amazing.
It is.
But it really shows how pervasive the internet has become in our lives.
Absolutely. I mean, it's revolutionized communication,
Yeah.
commerce. You know how we get information, entertainment,
Everything.
everything.
It's changed everything.
Blurred national boundaries, fueled entirely new industries.
It really has. It's hard to imagine life without it now.
Yeah.
But it's also brought new challenges, hasn't it?
That has.
Cybersecurity threats.
Right.
The spread of misinformation.
Yeah. It's a powerful tool.
For sure.
So better or for worse.
Yeah.
I think that's the key takeaway there.
So how is this vast network actually structured?
Well, you can think of it
Okay.
like a giant city.
Okay.
And at the edge of the city are all the users like you and me
Okay.
with our devices.
Right.
You also have servers at the edge. Uh-huh.
Often housed in those massive data centers. They're the ones holding all the content we're accessing.
Okay, so that's what's happening at the edge.
At the edge, yeah.
So then how do we connect to everything else?
That's where access networks come in.
Access networks.
These are the bridges that connect us to the wider internet.
Okay.
Things like your home Wi-Fi,
Uh-huh.
mobile networks.
Right.
Or the Ethernet connection at your office.
And those access networks have evolved a lot over the years, right?
Oh, yeah, they have.
Leading to those speed boosts we've probably all noticed.
For sure. Remember dial-up?
Oh, gosh. Downloading a song took like an hour.
I know. It's crazy how far we've come.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
We have.
So we've got the edge and the access networks.
Okay.
What's at the heart of it all?
That would be the core of the internet.
The core.
Picture a complex network of interconnected routers
Okay.
constantly forwarding packets of data to their destinations.
Packets. So we're not sending these large files all at once.
Nope.
Instead, the internet breaks everything down into smaller pieces called packets.
So it's like sending a bunch of postcards instead of one giant package.
Exactly. And each packet can actually take a different route
Oh, wow.
to reach its destination.
Okay.
And then they're all reassembled.
Like a digital jigsaw puzzle.
Exactly. At the other end.
So even if there's a problem on one route,
Yeah,
the data can still get through on a different path.
that's right.
Okay.
It's incredibly efficient and resilient.
That's really cool.
It is.
So to send and receive all this data,
Yeah.
we need to talk about the language of the internet.
Yes.
Protocol.
Protocols?
What exactly are those?
Well, just like we use language to communicate,
Right.
devices on the internet use protocols,
Right.
which are essentially sets of rules
Okay.
for how they exchange data.
So it's kind of like a set of instructions to make sure everyone's speaking the same language.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
For example, one of the most important protocols is TCP/IP.
TCP/IP.
The foundation of the internet. It makes sure all those packets get delivered to the right place.
Right.
And reassembled in the correct order.
So even though the packets might be taking different paths,
Yeah.
TCP/IP makes sure they end up in the right order.
Exactly.
Nothing gets lost along the way.
Exactly. Wow. It's pretty amazing.
So are there other protocols?
Oh, there are tons of protocols, but some key ones you might have heard of are things like HTTP for browsing the web.
Oh, okay.
It's like learning the secret handshake of the digital world.
I like that.
Yeah.
So how is it all organized then, with all these different protocols and different functions?
Oh, that's where the concept of layering comes in.
Layering.
The internet is built in layers,
Okay.
each with a specific job.
Okay.
It helps keep everything running smoothly and makes it easier to manage and update.
So it's kind of like building a house.
Yes.
You start with a solid foundation.
Exactly.
And then you add the walls, the roof,
right?
Everything else on top.
It's a great way to think about it.
I like that analogy.
Each layer builds on the one before it.
Okay.
And just like with a house, if you don't have a solid foundation,
Right.
the whole thing can crumble.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we've been using this analogy of building a house.
Right, with the internet being structured in layers.
Exactly.
So what would be the foundation, the most basic layer of this internet house?
That would be the physical layer.
Okay.
We're talking about the actual hardware here.
Okay.
The cables, wires, satellites, all that physical infrastructure that transmits the data.
So this is where we see those different types of internet connections like DSL, cable, fiber optic.
You got it. Each type has its own strengths and weaknesses.
Right. Yeah.
Which affects things like speed, reliability, and cost.
Makes sense.
For example, fiber optic cables use pulses of light to transmit data.
Oh, wow.
Which allows for those blazing fast speeds.
Yeah, I've heard fiber optic is amazing if you can get it.
It is.
But it's not available everywhere yet, right?
Okay. Unfortunately not. It's still being rolled out in many areas.
Yeah.
But DSL and cable connections have also gotten much faster over the years.
That's true. So the physical layer gets those bits of data moving.
Right.
What happens next?
Well, then we move up to the data link layer.
Data link layer.
This layer takes those raw bits and adds headers and trailers,
Okay.
creating what are called frames.
Frames.
Yeah, so it's kind of like taking a bunch of ingredients and adding a recipe
Right.
to turn them into a dish.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so those frames contain information
Yes.
about where the data is coming from and where it's going,
Exactly.
allowing devices to communicate within a local network.
Right, like sending a message to another computer in your home or office.
Exactly. Okay.
Think of the header, like the address on an envelope.
Okay.
It tells the network where that data should be delivered.
But what about sending data across the internet to a different network?
That's when we move up to the network layer.
Network layer.
This is where IP addresses come into play.
Oh, okay.
Remember we talked about how every device connected to the internet has a unique IP address?
Right, like a digital fingerprint.
Exactly. At the network layer, those packets we talked about are created, and they include the IP addresses of both the sender and the receiver.
So it's like adding a global address to those envelopes so they can travel anywhere in the world.
Precisely. This is how routers, the traffic cops of the internet, know where to send each packet.
Right.
Ensuring it reaches its destination, even if it has to cross multiple networks to get there.
That's really amazing how all this is happening behind the scenes.
It is.
You don't even realize it.
Nope.
But we're still missing something, right?
We are.
What about the actual content?
Right.
Like the stuff we want to send, like emails, websites, videos.
That's the good stuff.
How does the internet know what to do with all that?
That's the job of the transport layer.
Transport layer.
It provides a reliable connection between two devices, making sure that data arrives in the correct order and without any errors.
So it's like a quality control check.
Exactly, to make sure everything is in tip-top shape.
I like it.
Yeah. And there are two main protocols that do this job.
Okay.
TCP and UDP.
Okay.
TCP is like a meticulous delivery service.
Okay.
It ensures every piece of data arrives and is assembled perfectly at the destination.
What about UDP?
UDP is more like sending a postcard.
Okay.
It's faster because it doesn't worry about confirming delivery.
Okay.
It's great for things like streaming video,
Right.
where a few dropped packets won't make a noticeable difference.
So if you're watching a movie online and a few pixels are missing here and there,
Exactly.
that's probably UDP at work.
That's right. It's a trade-off
I would
between
just say.
speed and reliability.
Makes sense.
It's all about choosing the right protocol for the type of data being sent.
It really is starting to all make sense now.
I'm glad to hear that.
So we've covered the physical layer for the hardware.
Right.
Data link layer for local communication. Network layer for sending data across different networks.
Uh-huh.
Transport layer for reliable delivery.
That's right.
What's the final layer in our internet house?
The top layer, the one that you interact with directly,
Right.
is the application layer.
Application layer.
This is where we find all the programs and services
Right.
that we use on the internet, web browsers,
Right.
email clients, video streaming services, online games, you name it.
So this is where the real action happens.
Exactly. And each application uses specific protocols
Right.
tailored to its function.
Okay.
So, for example, your web browser uses HTTP
HTTP.
to communicate with web servers
Right.
and retrieve those web pages.
Okay.
Email uses SMTP to send messages.
Got it.
File transfers might use FTP.
So many different languages.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But they all rely on those lower layers
Right.
to actually transmit the data across the network.
Right.
It's a beautiful symphony
I like it.
of protocols and technologies working together.
This has already been so insightful. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand how the internet actually works.
I'm glad.
But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to those access networks we talked about earlier.
Okay.
They play such a crucial role in connecting us to this whole system.
They do. They're the gateways that allow us to tap into this incredible global network.
And they've come a long way over the years, haven't they?
They really have.
I mean, remember when dial-up was the only option and it took like forever to download anything?
Oh, those were the dark ages of the internet.
Seriously.
But then broadband technologies like DSL and cable came along,
Yeah.
offering much faster speeds
Right.
and always-on connections.
It was game changer.
It was.
And then fiber optic came along and just blew everything else out of the water.
It's true. Fiber optic cables transmit data using pulses of light,
Right.
allowing for incredible speeds and bandwidth.
It's like the difference between driving a horse and buggy and flying in a supersonic jet.
That's a great analogy.
The fiber isn't available everywhere yet, is it?
Unfortunately, no. It's still being rolled out in many areas.
Okay.
But even in places without fiber, DSL and cable connections have gotten significantly faster over the years.
Yeah, that's true. And what about mobile networks? I mean, they've really taken off in the past few years.
Absolutely. Mobile networks like 4G and now 5G have become a primary way for people to access the internet.
Yeah.
They use radio waves to transmit data,
Uh-huh.
allowing you to stay connected on the go.
It's amazing how we can stream high-definition videos and play online games right from our phones.
I know, it really is. And it's only going to get faster and more powerful
Right.
with the continued development of 5G and beyond.
So speaking of wireless, what about Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi is another type of access network
Okay.
that uses radio waves to connect devices wirelessly.
Right.
It's become almost as essential as electricity
It really has.
in homes, offices, and public spaces.
I remember when Wi-Fi was a luxury.
I know.
Now I feel lost without it.
I totally agree.
And the speeds have gotten incredibly fast, too.
You're right. Newer Wi-Fi standards like Wi-Fi 6 offer blazing fast speeds
Really?
that rival wired connections.
Wow. So we've got all these different access networks,
Yeah.
each with its own technology and capabilities.
Right.
It's like a buffet of internet options.
It is.
But how do we choose the right one?
That depends on your individual needs
Okay.
and what's available in your area.
Right.
If you need the absolute fastest speeds.
Yeah.
And fiber is an option. That's definitely the way to go.
Okay.
DSL and cable are still solid choices for many people.
Right.
And for on-the-go connectivity, mobile networks are a must-have.
For sure. It's all about finding the best fit for your internet lifestyle.
Exactly.
But before we declare ourselves internet experts,
Right.
I'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
What's the most unexpected or surprising thing you've learned about the internet so far?
Yeah, drop a comment and let us know.
We're curious.
This is just the tip of the iceberg
Yeah.
when it comes to the vast and complex world of the internet.
It really is. It's been a fascinating journey so far.
It has.
Now that we have a better understanding of how the internet works,
Yeah.
let's shift our focus to its impact on the world. I mean, it's hard to overstate how much the internet has changed the way we live, work, communicate.
Even think.
It's true. It's touched nearly every aspect of our lives
Right.
in ways both big and small.
For sure.
So join us in part 3 as we explore the profound and often unexpected ways
Okay.
the internet has shaped our world.
Welcome back to Explained. We've explored the history and the inner workings of the internet.
Right, from its Cold War origins to those complex layers
Yeah, all those layers.
that make it tick.
So now it's time to really delve into, I think, the big question here.
Yeah, the big one.
How has the internet actually changed the world?
It's such a huge question.
It is. It really is.
It's like trying to imagine life before smartphones.
I
Kind
know.
of thing.
It's so transformative, though.
It really is.
I mean, just think about communication, for example. Remember the days of snail mail and expensive long-distance calls, waiting weeks for a letter, or, racking up a huge phone bill just to talk to family overseas?
And now it's just like instant.
It's instant.
Yeah.
It seems like ancient history.
I know, right?
The internet has made communication instant and affordable.
Yeah.
Email, instant messaging, video calls.
Yeah, all of it.
We can connect with anyone, anywhere, in real time.
It's amazing.
But it's not just one-on-one communication.
Right.
Social media has completely changed how we interact.
Yeah.
With friends, family, even strangers.
Exactly.
It's created these massive online communities, and it's given everyone a voice.
It's true. For better or worse, it's reshaped the public sphere.
Yeah.
And how we engage with
Social and political issues.
social and political issues. Absolutely.
Yeah, and let's not forget how we consume information.
Yeah.
I mean, gone are the days of going to the library for research
Right.
or waiting for the evening news.
Exactly.
Now we have access to this incredible amount of information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right at our fingertips, 24/7.
It's incredible.
It's empowering,
Yeah.
but it also comes with challenges, right?
It does.
I mean, it's easy to get lost
Yeah.
in the information overload or to encounter misinformation.
That's right.
It makes you realize how important it is to be a critical thinker
Yeah.
and to carefully evaluate all the information you find online.
Absolutely.
But beyond communication and information,
Yeah.
the internet has revolutionized commerce.
It really has.
Online shopping has become a global phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can buy almost anything with a few clicks
It's so easy.
and have it delivered right to our doorstep.
I know. I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely changed the retail landscape.
For sure.
But it's not just about convenience for the consumer.
Right.
The internet has created a whole new world for businesses too, hasn't it?
It really has.
Yeah.
I mean, e-commerce giants like Amazon have totally reshaped the retail industry.
Right.
But the internet's also empowered countless small businesses and entrepreneurs. The barriers to entry have never been lower.
It's amazing to think about all the innovation and economic activity
It's incredible.
that the internet has unleashed.
Yeah.
And its impact goes far beyond communication, information, and commerce.
That's right.
It's changed education
Uh-huh.
with online learning platforms,
Right.
healthcare with telemedicine,
Yeah.
entertainment with streaming services,
Of course.
and even governance
Yeah.
with e-government initiatives.
Exactly. The internet has permeated so many aspects of our lives.
It's true.
Making services more accessible and efficient.
But with all this connectivity come new challenges and risks as well.
Of course.
Cybersecurity is a major concern.
It is, with billions of devices connected.
Right.
The internet's become a target.
Cyber criminals and hackers,
Yeah.
data breaches, identity theft, malware attacks.
All that stuff.
It's a whole new landscape of threats.
It really is.
We need to be aware of these threats and take steps to protect ourselves.
So what are some things we can do?
Well, strong passwords.
Two-factor authentication, being cautious about what links we click.
Yeah,
It's all part of being a responsible internet user.
makes sense. And then there's the whole issue of privacy.
Oh, right.
With so much of our lives happening online, it's easier than ever
Yeah.
for companies and governments
I know.
to track our every move.
That's right. The internet has made it crucial to think about data privacy and how our information is being collected and used.
So we need to be informed
We do, right?
and advocate for policies that protect our digital rights.
Absolutely.
It's pretty clear that the internet has brought incredible benefits,
Yeah,
but also some significant challenges.
for sure.
It's a powerful tool that has reshaped our world
Yeah.
in ways that are both profound
Yeah.
and often completely unexpected.
It really is, and it's still evolving at an incredible pace.
I know, it makes you wonder what will it look like in 10, 20, or even 50 years.
I can't even imagine.
It's hard to even fathom.
I know.
But one thing's for sure, the internet's going to continue to shape our lives
Yeah.
in ways that we can only begin to grasp.
So here's a final thought for you to ponder.
Okay.
As we wrap up this episode of Explained,
All right.
what role do you want to play in shaping the future of the internet?
Ooh,
What are your hopes and concerns for the internet of tomorrow?
that's a great question to consider.
It is.
We hope this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for the internet.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the endlessly fascinating.
Absolutely.
Let us know what other topics you'd like us to explore.
We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, happy browsing.